Well, for me, the highlight of the bin so far, have a little Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. It appears to be a whistle. Yeah. Maybe missing a couple bits. That didn't taste great. Yeah. Let's hear your predictions on in the comments on what disease I just contracted by doing that. Hey everybody, I'm Big Deal 74 and welcome back to Hammer Hauls. This is episode 1, bin 1 of my grand unboxing of my collection that I found. I've already opened the box. I'm ready to go. I'm gonna just pull from the top and if I know anything about it, briefly describe what I'm seeing, what I'm doing, and we'll sort through this first bin together, this first box together. Let's get at it. So first thing right off the top is a Ziploc bag. Bunch of sprues on it. In it. It looks like Epic, which was the 40K universe. I'm not sure what the scale was. I think it might be like 6mm or something like that. Very small guys fielding huge armies. This all appears to be Imperial Guard. I'm seeing guys with like autocannons, heavy weapons teams maybe. Yeah, just the same thing over and over. Autocannons, missile launchers. Definitely Imperial Guard. Sprue says copyright 1997, which makes sense. Yeah, but definitely heavy weapon teams for Epic. Warhammer 40K Epic. Not bad. Good way to start the box. Get everything back in. Try to keep this as organized as possible. Wearing gloves because a lot of this stuff is super dusty and dirty. Second thing, sprue, Scout Marines, torsos, and some optional bits. Looks like a fairly new sprue. It's the Scout Marines with the cloaks of probably the sniper scouts. Second things I'm pulling, Games Workshop 1997 sprue. It looks like parts for like vehicles. Got drums, barricades, so this is probably for some terrain set. If you guys know what this is from, specifically, leave me a comment and help me identify it, because I certainly am not going to know what a lot of this stuff is. Yeah, shoot me a message on Reddit, leave me a comment here on YouTube, and certainly going to need the help. Yeah, Games Workshop, looks like barrels and other stuff. More bits. Couple more sprues. I'm just pulling stuff out. Same thing. Barrels and what appear to be equipment from vehicles or buildings. A couple more. These look like Epic sprues. And a couple more of these guys down here. These have been cast red. I see Assault Marines. Oh no, those are Elysian drop troops. So more Guard. More Imperial Guard. Troopers. See some heavy weapon guys. Some old school las cannon troops where they're still Imperial Guard with las cannons on their shoulders. Guardsmen with what appear to be Elysian drop packs. Yeah, troopers. I think these are all troopers and commissars and the same sprue over and over. So more Epic 40K. Excellent. Next thing up is this little parts tray. I'm not sure what that was originally, but there are a bunch of things in miscellaneous states of completeness. I'm guessing this is some sort of, if going by the rest of it, and there's a lot of epic in here. Some sort of terrain, a lot of unidentifiable stuff. Wow, this is definitely a little bits bin, that's for sure. Have a mix of metal, pewter, resin. Judging by this looks like beastmen. Tiny beastmen, guys with horns. So I'm assuming that's like Warmaster, which was like the Warhammer version, the fantasy battle version of Epic 40K. You know, giant grand armies, little tiny dudes. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what these are, but they look like beastmen with like the horns and stuff like that. But they're holding hammers and like shields. Could be wrong. Like I said. Not familiar at all. This is, yeah, a bunch of random stuff here. Got a little Rhino. That's definitely like Epic or some other system. Rhino APC. Yeah, this would look like some Chaos Thousand Sun guy, maybe on a demon of some kind. Definitely Epic, but definitely some other games here that I don't really know. Little fighters, little jets, mostly Warmaster, on what I'm assuming, and Warmaster and Epic 40K. A lot of cool stuff in here. I wish I could show it all. Yeah, there's some like demons, or what appear to be like corn marines riding like demon, Slanesh demons. Bunch of random here. Can't go through it all. Gotta keep going. I'll show it off in more detail later. Next thing is a big giant bag of stuff on hex bases. Oops, gotta clean the rest of this stuff off first. Interesting. I have absolutely no idea what this is, but it appears to be ships on bases. Probably something similar to Battlefleet Gothic, although definitely not Battlefleet Gothic. Maybe this one kind of looks like a Star Trek, kind of a Star Trek-y, the shuttle ship. I'm not sure, but I'm not sure these are Star Trek ships. Big bag of them. They're metal. They're heavy. They're on hexagonal bases. They definitely look like spaceships or some sort of capital ship combat, fleet game. Big variety of ships and stuff like that. Yeah, very heavy, very metal. Big variety. There's some other stuff on different bases. Some sort of little wolf on a base. That could be Warhammer, like Fantasy Battle or something like that. Some sort of catapult. I'm not sure who that belongs to. Yeah, underneath all these ships and stuff like that, there's definitely more models at the bottom of the bag. Some sort of boar. So that could be like, it doesn't look super orky. So that could be some sort of cavalry unit. I'm not sure. Not sure what game that's from, but I see some metal sprues down here that I think I can identify. Some little metal bits. And I can pull these guys out. These are definitely assault ships. I think they're called Sharks. Shark assault ships from Battlefleet Gothic. 4 to a sprue. Look like they're in really good condition. Assault boats. A couple other random little miniatures down here. Some possibly like wood elves, like guys with bows, and looking awfully elfy. Just see if I can't identify anything else of interest from the bottom. Couple movement boards, some terrain, some more of the couple maybe like epic things with more shark boats. I'm just gonna put everything back in here so I know where it is. Can sort it all out later. But that's cool. If anyone knows what this is, yeah, leave me a comment. I'm not, very unfamiliar with this game system is. I'll leave more detailed pictures at the end of the video or spliced in. See how it goes. But yeah, cool find. Heavy, nice, cool looking models. Very heavy. Yeah, be a lot of them. Be very interested to know what game system that is. Ooh, Ziploc bag, not holding up as it should over the years. Whatever. Moving right along. A bag, unopened bag of square bases, Games Workshop square bases. A box, a little box labeled Thunderhawks. Wow, okay, cool. These are some very old Thunderhawks. This is what the first generation, I'm thinking it might be Epic. Or some other game system. I think it might have been called Space Marine. The Epic was called Space Marine before it became Epic. But, you know, the big gunships, Thunderhawk gunships that we know and love today, they all started out looking like these little school bus thingies with a turret on top, kind of looking like tractors or, yeah, this weird mashup of the Imperial, like, Battlefleet Gothic, you know, cathedral look along the edge. Very bizarre first generation pieces. Very cool find. As well as what appears to be more epic, I'm guessing some sort of character. Looks chaosy. Can't really tell. A lot of them appear to be like lords or something like that, but there's a big old pile of them. And then next in the next little chamber, these are all like Mark 1 speeder bikes, Space Marine speeders. Yeah, that's old school. Looks like there's some sort of plasma cannon on the top of it, and the two little guys strapped, but they don't have that, you know, the front section. It's just basically two guys strapped into some engines, big old engines with a little piece of sensor equipment in the front, then like what looks like a plasma cannon on top. Cool find, heavy. Those are some old school Thunderhawk gunships. Never seen anything like that before. Coming up next, another same little container labeled Chaos. Juggernauts, bikes, riders, etc. So, pop it open. Same thing, square bases. Like previously, Games Workshop bases. I can't identify them. They look more like Mech Warrior or something like that. They look like walkers. Not what I would be expecting from something labeled Chaos Juggernauts and etc. Definitely not Juggernauts, or maybe some early variation. They do look like mechs. With a cockpit and like a one arm gun and another like sort of rocket launcher on the other side. Not exactly sure what they are, but they all are on. No, they're not all on Games Workshop. They're on square little bases. But there's some other things. They appear to be like trolls or goblins. Individual bases. Some of them are round bases, decently painted with decently based. But I don't know exactly what they are, so we'll have to do some investigation on that later. Ooh, very dirty. Some of this stuff's got, you know, basing materials just like full of like got sand and like pebbles pouring out of it. Yeah, this is I'm guessing to be a pretty old collection. Definitely so far everything we found is certainly from the early 90s. Next thing coming out of the box is we have two unopened blister packs. One of them is Space Marine Citadel Miniature Space Marine, a Games Workshop product. Imperial Whirlwind. So definitely some early generation Whirlwind rocket launchers. The standard Rhino APC base tank, but with the big missile launchers on the back, the rocket launchers on the back. Very cool. 1, 2, looks like 3 Whirlwinds on this pack from Pegasus Hobbies. $7.99 for this booster originally. Copyright 1993. Very interesting. Never seen anything labeled Space Marine before. So that's what I was thinking Epic 40K was called before it became Epic 40K. Very cool. Next up, Epic 40K. New box, new shape. No other real identifying marks on this. There's no product sticker on it. It's completely blank, no price tag. But taking a look at it, it looks kind of like maybe Chaos. There's definitely Chaos because it's got the tanks. It's armor, and they have spikes on them, and it's definitely sponsons. See auto cannons, las cannons, heavy flamers, so probably some variation of like Chaos Predators. Very cool. Epic 40K. Alright, digging up stuff. More stuff. More stuff. Ooh. Got definitely Epic 40K. Maybe Warhammer or Space Marine, but definitely like a first generation Land Raider Mark 1, if I'm correct, or Mark 2, where it's got the uninterrupted treads going around the entirety of the tank. Mini base of what appears to be probably IG, more of the Imperial Guard infantry. Broken sprues, more barrels and barricades, another Land Raider, what appears to be a Minotaur, so that would lead me to believe, if that's from the War Master stuff we saw earlier, that's probably some sort of War Master Chaos Beast army, would be my guess. More sprues, nothing. Little green plastic army man barbed wire piece. Because why not? It's always need a couple of those in your terrain box, right? More barrels, more stowage. This looks to be some sort of Imperial Guard, probably like a command squad or something. I see a guy with a las cannon, what appears to be some sort of psyker, or what do you call them? Yeah, definitely Imperial Guard though. And then terrain sprues, barricades, and the whole shebang. Looks like there's a bunch of that down here. Couple more Land Raiders. Although this one's metal. Or not, I don't think so. Maybe not. This is one of the Whirlwinds that we were just talking about on that unopened box. 40K, or Epic, or Space, I think it was from the Space Marine one. But that's, I can tell by the variation of the rocket launcher on the back, the missile launcher. That's probably very similar to that unopened one right there. More terrain sprues. More Imperial Guard troop sprues. More terrain barrels and stowage. Could never have too much. And even more barricades and barrels and storage. This is interesting. This is bikes to what appear to be attack bikes. Not attack bikes, excuse me, just regular bikes. But they don't have Marines on. They do look like human, like guardsmen. I've never seen guardsmen bikes before, but I think I remember hearing something that like in the early variations of the game, this is probably 40K epic. Maybe back then, Imperial Guard had bikes, so that's what this appears to be. Two of them on a little epic base. Now we're kind of getting down to the bottom of the bin. All the little bits and pieces that broke off the sprue. There's a lot of little tiny stuff down here that I'm going to slowly start digging out. Stuff that's, settled. Some more barrels and barricades. Movement tray and trash. Couple of bits falling through. Yeah, definitely Imperial Guard on a bike of some kind. This one's just been base painted. It's the same model as these two, but these two have a little bit more detail painting on. But this has the red primer that all the other little sprues had, so I can identify it, see it in a little bit clearer detail. And it definitely looks like an Imperial Guardsman on some sort of early generation bike. This is interesting. First new thing. Definitely epic 40K, but these are Necron Warriors. Can't misidentify these guys. They're definitely little shiny robots of death and murder holding what appear to be Gauss cannons. Interesting. I wonder what that speaks for the rest of the stuff. Haven't seen any Necron or Xenos yet, just Chaos and IG and Imperial stuff. So I'm gonna just pull the rest of the bin up here as I look through it. Some sort of maybe like rocket launcher storage system. It appears to be off some sort of other toy or something like that. Used for or collected, like I'm sure a lot of us do, for potential terrain use down the road. A lot of wine corks in the bottom. I'm not sure if this was for some sort of hobby usage, or who doesn't like to have a drink while they paint and assemble and stuff like that. You gotta have an adult beverage while you hobby. See, I can't identify the winery. Ambassador Club, REL Vineyards. I'm sure it's the good stuff. With a collection like this, sure there is money to burn. Money to burn, and if you have the taste for the finer things in life, like Warhammer and Epic and Warmaster, I'm sure you have equally as good taste in your vintages. Another little Epic sprue, Elysian drop. I'm assuming what's Elysian drop troops from those previous sprues. Looks like 4 dudes with little tiny jetpacks, but they're each holding 2 pistols in each hand. And then there's a guy in the middle with a banner and a sword, chain-sword. So, assuming it's still IG, judging by the jump packs or whatever, and I'm assuming that's some sort of assault infantry from that earlier years of that system. In the bottom, I'm just going to keep just sorting through it. Barrels and walls and movement trays. More barbed wire. We've got a sprue, a green sprue of Epic stuff, 1991. Rhinos and what is definitely Space Marines. I forget what mark armor it is, but they all have the beaks. So they're all beakies. I think it's like Mark 3, Mark 2. Feel free to roast me in the comments for not knowing my armor variants. That's cool. That's the first confirmed Space Marine actual troop. 40K. More bikes. Big piece of, well, I'm assuming it's some sort of plastic terrain set or molds maybe of some kind. I don't know. Not sure what it is. Never really seen anything like it before. And wrapping up the bin. Okay, well, for me, the highlight of the bin so far, have a little Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. It appears to be a whistle. Yeah. Maybe missing a couple bits. That didn't taste great. Yeah. Let's hear your predictions on in the comments of what disease I just contracted by doing that. Look at the rest of it. More epic. That is our first generation Sentinel, Imperial Guard Sentinel, when it was essentially before it was like an enclosed cab vehicle, open, and dude is holding onto a gun. It might be an auto cannon or something like that, but he's essentially just on a walker holding a heavy weapon, kind of like a gunner from like a top turret of a Humvee or something like that, or a bomber. Another Thousand Sun sorcerer guy holding what appears to be some sort of heavy weapon, but definitely like on a demon. Not sure what this is, but if I had to guess, it looks like an early generation tarantula turret. It's on a base, kind of like a quad base, and it's definitely two heavy weapons with like ammo drums on them. So I'm guessing that is some sort of tarantula turret. Another early generation Land Raider, although I'm not sure it's the same one as these ones. That one's painted with the Space Wolf paint. Everything else in here, it's essentially the same as everything else. Besides this little dude, he's on the same base as those earlier demons and stuff like that. So he might be from War Master, but this little red demon guy holding appears to be a sword, giant sword over his head. I can't tell if he's a small demon from the big range or he's a huge demon from the small range. But he definitely looks demonic, kind of like a demonic monkey looking guy. Horns and everything like that. And then a big old sword. Everything else is bikes. More IG bikes. Little metal piece. Not sure what that is. Unidentifiable bit. Metal bit. But everything else essentially is... Now this is interesting. This is clearly some sort of War Master or 40K personnel that goes onto the bases, like an individual troop, but he looks like a dwarf, but except he's carrying a las gun. Makes me think he could be some sort of squat or something like that. Very interesting looking. I know the squats had armies in Epic, but besides that, I'm not sure what else he could be. Put more detail, show a little bit more detail shot of that later. Maybe you guys will know. Yeah, I guess I should take a closer look at the little stuff at the bottom then. With all the Epic. Yeah, there's more tiny little bits at the bottom, barrels and more Oscar Mayer Wiener truck, same Oscar Mayer Wiener truck, little Imperial bikes and the such. Some dead bugs, a lot of dirt, a lot of rocks. That pretty much wraps up everything else in here. The rest of the bin is more of these barrels, which look like they could have been from G.I. Joe, Danger Combat Set. I don't know. Barricades, more 40K stuff. A lot of it isn't 40K. some IG bikers that we saw earlier. Imperial Guard on bikes. Who knew? You learn something new every day. But cool. That wraps up the first bin. Thanks so much. I hope you guys were as stoked with the haul. Highlights being some of those first generation Thunderhawks and the crazy bits bin of incomplete stuff that I've yet to sort through. I saw like a Kroot arm, bunch of weird terrain, maybe 40k, maybe Epic, maybe War Master, who knows, a bunch of Chaos guys, bunch of terrain sprues, stowage, junk, some cool stuff. Land Raiders, got to see some Marines, got our first taste of Epic Marines, but other than that, pretty cool bin so far. Tarantula turret, very cool. Possible squat, we'll see in the rest of the bins. I'm very hopeful. A lot of like smaller stuff, so that's cool. These are both systems that I'm completely like unfamiliar with. I've never had any armies or collected any of them before. Have some really basic knowledge, but everything else is pretty fresh and new to me, so that's pretty freaking exciting. I can't wait to get through the rest of them. I hope they're half as cool as this one was so far. Very cool. Stay tuned for episode 2 when we unravel the next one. Tell all your gamer buddies, and like always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and help spread the word so we can all unbox this stuff together. Very cool. Very excited for what's to come. This is 1/30th of everything I have to go through so far. So if it's 30 more of these to come, holy shucks, like it's gonna be rad. Anything that I'm gonna sort through all this stuff a little bit more detail, clean it up a little bit. A lot of it's still really dirty. Like I said, dead bugs and dirt. Maybe some water got in there at some point. Everything's in pretty good condition considering that my guess would be that this box is, the contents of this is at least 15, 20 years old at this point. Really cool to see stuff new on sprue. Epic 40k, War Master, lots of cool stuff. I'm going to sort through it. Anything that I don't immediately want for my personal use in my personal collection, which quite frankly is a lot of this Epic stuff. It's very cool. I love seeing the models, but it doesn't really interest me too much in terms of collecting. I will be going through and making posts on my mini swap. And I will be updating with pictures, more detailed pictures, better descriptions, and making it available to you guys for buying and trading. So if you have any interest in any of the stuff you've seen today, stay tuned for the listing. I will post the links in the description to my mini swap page. Smash that link, smash that like button. We'll cut that out. Yeah, so feel free to hit me up, message me, shoot me a comment, send me a PM, and we'll go from there. This was awesome. I'm super excited I did this. I'm super excited I have the help with this to give it in a pretty cool format. And stick around, guys, and look forward to going through bin after bin after bin because I have a whole lot more stuff to go through. So stick around, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.